Hey guys, it's Joe, and most of you know me as the Android guy from Pocketnow. Well, that's really cool, but as I've mentioned before, I used to be a Windows Mobile guy. Now I'm an Android guy, but you know, Windows Phone 7, it's looking kind of neat, so you think we could put Windows Phone 7 on, I don't know, a G1? Let's go take a look. Alright, first and foremost, this is an actual T-Mobile G1. It is running CyanogenMod, but that shouldn't be necessary to run this. Now, before you get too excited, no, this is not Windows Phone 7 running on the G1. It is, however, a fairly convincing user interface that kind of looks like Windows Phone 7 and might be enough to fool some of your friends. And after all, if you can't fool your friends, what kind of a geek are you? So let's see how we do this. First and foremost, you're going to need an Android-powered phone. Second, you're going to need something like Launcher Pro, which I've shown you in the past. That's an alternate launcher program. It's available free in the marketplace, but there's a trick, and I'm going to have to come back to that in just a minute. The next thing you're going to need, also from the marketplace, is something called Desktop Visualizer. Now that's what lets you put in these cool shaped custom icons. And that's really all these tiles are, is just a custom widget sitting on the screen. And the last thing that you're going to need is this icon pack. Now that's available from XDA developers, and I'll give you the link in the article that accompanies this video so you can go out and grab that. Putting everything on here is a little bit tricky, so let me show you what you need to do. Now first, this is just an empty screen, and you'll notice you can't scroll up, and these aren't live tiles like Windows Phone 7, but you know, we've got to give some wiggle room there. So how do we get this set up? Let's go ahead and tap and hold anywhere on the screen, and we're going to add a widget. And this is where Desktop Visualizer, again, free in the marketplace, comes into play. You scroll down, and I usually do Desktop Visualizer large, just because I can do anything I want with that. This screen likes to have the 3x1 and the 1x2. But if you don't know which one you're going to plop, just go ahead and choose large and you'll be fine. We'll come in here, we're going to select an icon. This is the Desktop Visualizer interface. We'll select an icon from a file, and this is going to fire up the gallery so we can pick that icon. It's a G1, so the gallery is going to take just a little bit longer than normal. And I've got my icons right there on my SD card. I'll open that up and let's do photos since we're in the gallery right now. So we tap on the photos icon and we're going to select an action to launch the application, and in this case it's going to be the gallery app itself. Wait for the application list to load, scroll down here to gallery. We'll select that. Here's the first trick. Okay, see this label? We don't want it. So just select it and backspace it out. The reason we don't want that is it's already included in the graphic itself, and having them both there is just kind of redundant. But what that should do here in just a moment is show up, there's our photos tile. Now it looks just right on the screen, but it's not. We chose that large format and that was not entirely right. And you can see here it's actually a, what's that, a 3x3? So it's a little too big. Now, that's where the trick came in. If you want to be able to resize these, which you really want to be able to do, you're going to have to unlock Launcher Pro. You're going to need to pay him. I mean, I know it's ironic that you have to pay developers for their apps, but when you do that, it unlocks the capability for you not only to add more widgets, but also to resize existing widgets, which is really, really cool. Okay. So you can see here I've been resizing this widget a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and resize it to its final size, if I can grab this little grippy. And that's going to be this 3x1. To select it, you hit the back button, and there you've got your finished tile. When we tap that, it opens up into the photo gallery, just like you'd expect. Again, it's a G1, so we have to be a little bit patient with the loading time of the gallery. Now, let's put that on the page where we want it to go. We're just going to tap and hold, and if I don't accidentally drop it, we can scroll between screens. And that one's all full, so we're going to drop it right there. Now you can see I've got another one over here that I need to populate. But before we do that, let's take a look. If you notice, I've got a 1x4 widget, I've got two 1x3 widgets, a blank, one space, and then another space up here. And this is the standard Google search bar, and all I did was the same thing that you saw me do with that. In fact, let me show you here. I don't have enough room on this screen, so I'm going to have to go to another screen and drop it on. But I've got a 3x1 space, so let's add that widget on. And I know this is diverging a little bit from Windows Phone 7, but you know, we want to keep some of our Android functionality in there too. So I'm going to select Google Search, and that's the 4x1 search widget. We'll search all. 4x1, it's not going to fit. So again, Launcher Pro, we tap and hold. If I do that right, we tap and hold, and then we get our little grippy, and we can simply resize it to 3x1, and then grab it and move it over to where we want it to go. So we'll just drop it right up there at the top. Now again, we've got that other one space, so let me show you the other way to do it. And you might be able to do this without the Launcher Pro paid version. So we know that's a 3x1 widget. So let's go ahead and try a 3x1. So we'll choose a Desktop Visualizer 3x1 widget. And the process is the same. Select icon from image file. And we're going to go right back. This time let's do, I don't know, let's do email. And it's got kind of a picture of rustic mailboxes, which is kind of cool. So there's our rustic mailboxes. We select that. Next we're going to come down, select the action to launch our application. It populates the list, and we're simply going to want to come down here. Now I use Gmail. You might use email or some other app. We're going to remove the label. Say OK. And then it'll take just a moment to populate that onto the screen. Now this works a lot faster on faster phones, as you might expect. Let's move that over. I didn't wait long enough. There we go. And we'll just drop that right there. Now I've got a fully functional screen where I can tap to launch tasks, tap to launch mail, maps, music, photos. I've even got my news ticker down at the bottom. Got my beautiful widgets, home screen, smaller, whatever the name of that app is. And then mail, calendar, text, browser, photos, and phone, all right there. So it's not quite Windows Phone 7 on an Android-powered phone, but it sure does look like it, and it's a really unique interface. It's a nice way to organize your home screens into something that's a little unusual or uncommon, and it's definitely going to spark some interest when you have people looking at it. It's a little bit more polished and refined, in my opinion, than the Zune interface that I showed you before. You can click right here to see that video. So tell me, what do you think? Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and of course if you like doing stuff like this, fooling your friends or customizing your interface with unique and novel ways, I'd like to know about that too. Give me a thumbs up so that I know you want to keep watching these kind of videos and learning this kind of stuff on your Android phone, even your now your relics, your G1 here. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to our video channel, and head on over to Pocketnow.com to see all the latest articles that we've got on Android and even on Windows Phone 7. So, for Pocketnow, showing off the really cool, not quite Windows Phone 7 interface on the G1, I'm Joe Levi.